Hey guys, it's the end of a day. It's time to go home, and you get to ride along with me. And this time, we're going to talk about the 8 things that new riders should know about. Okay? Oh, let me get my stuff on, get all set up, and we'll get going. Yay! In case you don't know who I am, my name's Dawn, and I work here at FX Compare Harley-Davidson. Let me get out of here so they can at least close the gate. Alrighty. Alrighty guys, thank you very much for joining me again. This time around, I wanted to talk about what are the 8 things that every new or nervous rider should know. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because we had somebody in at the dealership the other day, very nice young woman who was coming off of a 250cc motorcycle, and she was actually going to get my exact bike, not my bike per se, but another 115th anniversary Heritage Softail that's virtually just like mine. Except of course they are all numbered, so it wasn't exactly like mine because there's a couple of other things on there that weren't on mine and vice versa. Anywho, I was talking to her. She had been riding for 2 years on this 250cc motorcycle, and going from a 250 to a 114 cubic inch engine is quite a big difference. So 2 years, yeah, that is a good decent amount of riding. I wouldn't consider her new per se, but I would say that, and I told her actually that, there's a big difference in the torque between her 250 and this 114. And then I asked her if she had taken the basic rider's course, and she said yes, and that she was, officially licensed. And I said, well, perfect. I'm pretty sure she ended up getting the bike, and I know she's going to be happy with it. And in light of that conversation, that's why I wanted to bring you the 8 things that every new or nervous rider should know. Let's see if I can remember all 8. I do have a cheat sheet that I can look at. Obviously not while I'm riding along, but I'll stop and take a look at it if I need to. We'll see. Does this guy want me to pass or what? Fine, I'll pass you. So number 1 is you would want to read your owner's manual. I know I've said this in other videos I've done. Reading an owner's manual can be quite the insight to how your bike operates, what the factory suggests, in order to break in the motor if it's a new motor, if it's a bike with a radio system, how that all works, if it's got navigation, how that all works. So very handy to have Definitely don't just put it in a desk drawer and forget about it. Read your owner's manual. It tells you, the tire pressure. It tells you about what fuel you should be using. All sorts of interesting information. Read your owner's manual. Read it. And the second little tidbit of information every new or nervous rider should know is, I don't care who you are, I don't care how long you've been riding, you want to practice, practice, practice. Whenever I get on my bike, I never assume that I know it all. Every year, because of course this is the North Country up here in northern New York. Horses! We put our bikes up for the winter. Usually it's about 6 months, give or take. So at the end of the riding season, I am a way better rider than I was in the spring. Just simply because, it's one of those things, if you don't use it, you lose it. Let's see, what else? Want to wash your bike? I know that's one of them. I can't remember what order it's in. Anyways, washing your bike is definitely a service for your bike as well as for yourself. You get to know your bike better when you wash your bike on a regular basis, and then that way you are able to spot stuff when something's going wrong, like perhaps you have a seal go in your derby cover or whatever, and you notice that there's oil leaking. And I know there's somebody out there going, well, my bike leaks oil anyways. Well, sure, yeah, if it's an older Harley, they have a habit of marking their territory, but the newer ones, not so much. So if your bike's a newer bike and it's leaking oil, you want to have that looked at. And you're going to know it's leaking oil if you wash your bike regularly. So, wash your bike. I know one of them is the Harley Owners Group. The H.O.G group, or Harley Owners Group. When you are a Harley owner, when you buy it at FX Repair Harley-Davidson, no matter if you buy a new or a used bike, we will pay your H.O.G membership, your national membership, for the first year. Well, the whole reason you got a motorcycle was to be sociable, wasn't it? Don't you want to go ride? I know a lot of these rides that I've been doing here are single so far. Oh, Casey and the babies. Hi, kids. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Oh, the babies. All right. Sorry. Sidetracked. Anywho, Harley Owners Group. At the national level, you get a shit ton of benefits. You get the mileage recognition, and you need to be a H.O.G member in order to earn the miles, points for miles. If you have a Harley-Davidson Visa card, you get 1 point for every mile you ride, up to 50,000 points. So I want to say that's like a $500 gift card right there. Duh. Doing what you love. Racking up the miles. From the lifetime mileage recognition, I'm up to 20,000 miles now. I'm thinking 25,000 my next one or something like that. I can't remember. Plus, when there's rallies, there's H.O.G specific pin stops. So you get, what do they call it? Swag. You get swag. And then when you join your local H.O.G chapter, you get even more. You get the camaraderie, you get the behind the scenes of what's happening at the dealership, you get the good times with great friends, lots of stuff, lots of good times. So be social, join your H.O.G group. Oh, I know, another one is that you get good gear. I know a lot of new riders are light in the pocketbook, shall we say, don't have a lot of money, and some people sometimes think that not shelling out for the good gear, going on the cheap, buying the cheap gear is going to be worth it, is going to help them. And I'm not saying all cheap gear is bad. There's some good stuff out there. It doesn't all have to have the Harley brand on it. So that good gear is definitely worth it. Because not only will it help protect you in the worst of times, even, just riding around, having the good gear is going to keep you from getting too cold or too hot. So get the good gear. Highly worth it in the long run. And the good gear is going to last too. That's another point. So you're more than getting your money's worth out of it. Get the good stuff. Alright, I don't even know how many that's been. Oops. Let's see, we talked about owner's manuals, we talked about gear, we talked about practice, we talked about... What else did we talk about? Oh boy. I'll have to check my list. I know one thing we haven't talked about yet, and that is insurance. Motorcycle insurance. Now, let me just do the little caveat here. I am not an insurance agent. I do not sell insurance. I am not a lawyer. I am speaking from my own personal experience. And the experience of having others come into the dealership with their insurance claims. In New York, we have such a thing called no fault. That means, hello, child. That means if I'm in my car and you're in your car and we have an accident, New York State has decided they don't care who's at fault. But when it comes to me being on my motorcycle and you're in your car and we have that same accident, now they care. So, let's just say the car is the one at fault. They turned left in front of me, they didn't see me, and whoops, we have a traffic accident. Thanks to under the no-fault law. Now I am completely dependent on your insurance. So that means whatever insurance policy you have as the driver of the car who hit me, who is at fault, whatever insurance you have is what will be used to cover my motorcycle, my medical coverage, and any emergency transport that might need to take place. Going the extreme back way. I'll also check my list, make sure whether or not I can get you into neutral. There you go. Alrighty. Anybody else have a problem? You're about as tight as you want to get, aren't you? Alright. I check my list. Can't get your wash insurance for alcohol, be bold. Okay. Alcohol, be bold. I think I can remember that. We've established the fact that I'm on my bike, you're in your car, we have an accident, it's your fault. I'm now relying on your insurance. If you are like 75% of the drivers out there, you went with the bare minimum, what you have to legally be on the road, and that is $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident. It sounds like a lot of money, doesn't it, kids? But let's just say from that same accident, it is decided that I need to be flown over to Syracuse. That's a good $15,000 right there, if I'm lucky. It all depends on fuel and timing and overtime and et cetera, et cetera. $15,000 gone, and you've got $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident. Can you see where I'm going with this? It's going to rack up pretty fast. So if your state is like New York State, and you've got to have basic liability coverage in order to ride your motorcycle, that insurance is not meant to cover you. It is meant to cover the other person that you hit should you be at fault. And let's be honest, if you're watching this, you're probably going to be that kind of person who's going to be a good rider, a safe rider, and it's probably not going to be your fault. Well, what are you supposed to do then if it's the other person's fault and they've only got $25,000 and you just spent a good chunk of that just to get to the emergency room? Well, here's what you want to look at. You want to get the supplemental uninsured, underinsured coverage on your motorcycle policy. Again, I am not licensed to sell insurance, nor am I an attorney. However, I know from Ben Rabin that that is definitely the one supplemental insurance coverage that I want. So, newer riders, nervous riders, riders in particular, please, please, please get your insurance coverage looked at, checked out by a professional. An insurance agent works for the company that is signing her paycheck, or his paycheck, sorry, don't want to be sexist. So what incentive does that insurance agent have to look out for you? Let's be honest, insurance companies are for-profit businesses, so you definitely want to make sure your ass is covered beyond what is legally required. When your insurance agent says, yeah, you're all set, you're covered. Okay, what exactly does that mean? Am I covered under the law? Yes. Am I covered in case it's an accident and it's the other guy's fault? Am I covered then? Let's be sure. So when you talk to an insurance broker, they are the ones that are working for you. They represent several insurance companies and are able to shop around given your circumstances. So like if you have a couple of accidents or you have a couple of tickets or whatever, they can shop around and get you the best policy, and they're going to make sure that you are covered the best way possible. You know, that you have the appropriate coverage. Because like I said, you know, if you end up getting life flighted out, that's a quick 12 to 15 grand right there, if not more. So make sure you have that insurance coverage. And you might be thinking, you know, hey, I'll just go ahead and sue that other guy. You know, he's the one at fault. I'll sue him. Well, again, chances are they went with the cutthroat insurance prices because they probably don't have all that much. You know, maybe that was a college student that hit you, working 2 jobs and up to his ears in debt, and tuition fees and whatnot. And I'm sure you've heard the old saying, you can't get blood from a stone. Well, you can't get money from a broke person either. Yeah, sure, you might get the judgment in court. Are you honestly ever going to see that money? Probably not. So it's best to have your behind protected. Insurance. Uninsured, underinsured. Look into it. One of my favorite roads. So you saw from the list there, alcohol is definitely one of the things that we need to talk about. You know, before this whole nightmare virus thing closed all the bars and restaurants, it was saying amongst bikers, oh, you know, how are you going to practice your drunk riding if you can't go out and drink and ride? No, that's not exactly the smartest thing to do, for sure. And you might be thinking, well, you know, I'm fine. I can have one drink and I'll be fine. But the problem with that is that alcohol has a tendency to... Oh, poor dead animals. Alcohol has a tendency to inhibit your thinking abilities, your cognitive thinking abilities. Even after the first sip, you feel that cool rum wash down your throat mixed with the Coke Zero. It tastes good. You have another sip, and next thing you know, you really are, whether or not you think it, you really are impaired and should not be operating a motorcycle or a car or anything else. I mean, honestly, think about it. I am using my whole body. You know, the moment that begins to impair your system, your reaction time is going to be slowed, and you're going to get in trouble awfully fast because you think you're fine and you decide to ride or drive. Don't do it, guys. It's just not worth it. I'm doing 70. Let me slow down. Okay, not only is a DUI going to cost you a shit ton of money, it's also going to wreck your ability to ride or drive in the future. It might even screw around with your credit score. It will definitely screw around with your driving record because your insurance rates are going to go up. So it might not seem cool to sit there and sip on a soda, but getting home in one piece is very cool. And let's just say you're out on a bike, you're with a group of friends, they all stop, and one of them decides to start drinking, and 2 or 3 drinks in, and you can tell they're pretty wasted. But let's just say you're out with friends and they decided, well, you know what, he's okay to ride. If you feel uncomfortable, you are more than welcome, and you have every right to say, you know what, dude, you guys go ahead. If you insist on driving or riding at this point, it's on you. It is not on me. I'm not going to be part of it. I don't want to be involved. I love you. I highly wish you'd reconsider. Please don't do this. But if they insist on doing it and they insist that they're fine, then you have every right to say, you know what, you guys go on. I will meet you there. I hope that you get there okay. Please be safe. I get all these cars coming at me. I have to be paying attention. I have to know what's going on. I can't afford to have my reactions delayed. So, alcohol. Don't drink it. Well, I mean, I'm not saying don't drink. That is completely up to you. That is a life choice. I can tell you I am Irish. I had the ancestry DNA test to prove that. And I love rum. I love spiced rum. I love Captain Morgan. I am not a paid spokesman for Captain Morgan. I wish I were. You can pay me in rum. But I only drink when the kickstand is down for the night, or my car is parked for the night. Either way. And I know I'm not going anywhere. And if I do have to go somewhere, somebody else is driving, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be that one. I will sit there and happily party once everything is done. And I've got plenty of pictures to prove that. Like this one. This picture was from my first ever long road trip with the girls. And yeah, you can tell we're pretty much all wasted there. But that was well after we had checked into the hotel. And we're in for the night. So alcohol, drink responsibly. Do not drink and ride. Ever. Please. No, don't do it. And last but not least is be bold. You know, if this is your year to get out and go ride, I would just say go do it. Go to the DMV, get your learner's permit. Get with a friend who rides. Go riding with him or her. or them. You know, that's another great thing about being in the H.O.G group is you've got plenty of people to go riding with. You know, be safe, but be bold. We obviously know recently that life is too short. And whether or not you believe that we have other lives, this is the life that you're living now. So live it to the fullest, live it while you got it, and have fun doing it. Don't let anything hold you back. It feels good to know that you can accomplish something, whether it's motorcycle riding, whether it's skydiving, whether it's bungee cord jumping. I ain't gonna do that, but I'll ride my motorcycle and be plenty happy. And if you like this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified, then be sure to hit that bell. Until the next What's Up Wednesday, guys, stay safe and have fun.